Alex here with a high conflict child custody video on Talionic revenge. Some people call them Talionic impulses. They're all over the internet. I mean, websites that discuss the topic are all over the internet. A lot of them seem to focus on borderline personality disorder, but the reason I decided that I could use this as a topic in a video that was a little bit more all encompassing is because of the meaning behind Talionic, which is eye for an eye. So, that is something that very much is in line with high conflict child custody. And impulses and revenge kind of both go hand in hand when it comes to a high conflict X. I talk about this a lot in so many different videos, but I don't refer to it specifically as Talionic revenge. And I don't just focus solely on this one topic and explain my thoughts as to why I think it happens and maybe what you can do about it. There isn't a whole lot you can do about it. I think the best you can do when it comes to what are you going to do about it is watch my video, Fighting Makes It Worse, which goes into the cycle of revenge and explains how I dealt with the cycle of revenge. But anyway, I want to actually talk a little bit more about this now. So, this idea, Talionic revenge, is there's a lot of different ways that it can sort of manifest. One of the ways is that I am going to cut off my nose to spite my face. Another way to look at it is I'm going to hurt you even if it means hurting myself. And that's probably the primary way that it's looked at. It's a very self destructive action, but typically it does involve finding some way to inflict some kind of damage on a target. And oftentimes the motive is revenge, oftentimes. And there are other ways that it can come about. Sometimes it's one of the examples online talks about mother-daughter relationships, toxic mother-daughter relationships, where the daughter tries to lash out and hurt the mother just by hurting herself. She doesn't even really try to do anything to the mother. She just inflicts all this damage upon herself, hoping that by doing so, her mother becomes hurt. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move now into high conflict child custody cases and how Talionic revenge will come about in these cases. A lot of times, a normal person will walk out of a relationship hurt and they will want revenge. They will have some impulses to hurt you. But the difference between them and a high conflict X is that they'll eventually stop. And they also don't necessarily see the point to hurting you if it also hurts them. Whereas a high conflict X is very willing to hurt themselves if it means they're going to hurt you too. They're very willing to do that. And in fact, in desperate situations, they will inflict grievous injuries on themselves just to put a tiny scratch on your face. Anyway, one of the things that I wanted to go back and talk about was how, with a normal person, they're going to have some impulses. They're going to try to put together a picture for the court. And if the court doesn't believe them, they'll stop. And they might learn from it. They might not learn from it. They might, try a few more times. But as they start to see that it's not resonating with other people, they accept it and they stop and they move on. A high conflict X won't do that. They will think that everyone else is stupid and they need to just try harder or try in a different way. And that's when things start to get weird. Initially, if they put together some kind of accusation that you were like molesting your child and you were arrested and you were in criminal court and you were defending yourself from these criminal charges, they might just stop there and they might seem perfectly normal to a lot of people. A person who is well put together and is protecting their kids from a molester. But let's say that same person tried that and it didn't work. And they found themselves in a family court and nothing happened to their ex. Their false accusations were not believed. And they didn't have anything else at the time. That's all they accused the person of. And so now, since that didn't work, they have to come up with something else. So they come up with other accusations. Maybe you choked them. Maybe you punched them in the face. Maybe you threw them down the stairs. Stuff like that. And let's say that doesn't work and you get joint physical custody. They're still not going to stop. Now they're even more angry because people aren't giving them what they want, which is everything, and for you to have nothing. And so they need to resort to some other tactic. And it starts to get crazier and crazier. They will pull stunts at exchanges. They will lay traps. Something like, hey, come into the house to pick up this thing that you left over. And then they'll call the cops and say you punched him and ran out the door. Um, there are other things that they will do that start to go into abuse and neglect because maybe you're not falling for their traps. Maybe you don't want to be in the same room with them with no one else there present. And so they can't lay a trap and set you up. Maybe they have to resort to trying to get your child to hate you and telling your. These are all things that they wouldn't have done had it not gone that far. But that's the thing about them. A lot of times people will say these high conflict exes all do the same thing. Well, they do if they get to a certain point, but not necessarily all of them take the same approach, and not necessarily all of them have to. And so the stuff that they do does get crazier and more self-destructive and more harmful to the child as things go on, and as they are unable to prove to everyone that the lie that they're trying to sell is true. They have to get people to accept the lie for them to feel like they matter, for them to feel relevant, for their for the illusion that they have created to actually be as real as it possibly can. And so when it's not working out, they see it as a threat to their sort of identity, to their sense of self. And so desperate times call for desperate measures. They feel like it's a desperate situation. So it involves manipulating the child, alienating the child from the other parent, using emotional and psychological torture, things that are very hurtful. Sometimes it could just be straight up child abuse and neglect just to see you react, just to see you get angry, just so that they can get that sense of, haha, I got them. I hope that this video helps people in some way. A lot of times I go through these videos and I feel like I just kind of wandered around aimlessly. And oftentimes in the comments, people will tell me that they helped. So these are sort of my thoughts on Talionic revenge. These are sort of my thoughts as to what you can expect in your case if you're dealing with a high conflict ex. And I'm sorry that I didn't put forth any solutions in this video, but it was on purpose because I've already done that in another video, and that video is Fighting Makes It Worse. So I suppose at this point, I will go ahead and end this video. I feel like there's still a lot to say, but I'm not really sure about that. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video at this point in time. Maybe I'll do another one if I need to. Definitely post something down in the comments below if what I'm talking about here really resonates with you. But for now, I will see you guys next time.